Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot, a very hot and windy MadWorldTarot. It's a kind of strange energy, pre-full moon energy, I think, and I have the Deviant Moon Tarot on the tarot table. I think it expresses that energy quite well, and I'm going to be looking today at people who are daring to speak out. Celebrities, not huge big celebrities, but they're famous enough to be noticed when they come out and express rather negative opinions about Meghan Markle. We're not talking about Tina Brown type people, any of those. We're talking in this first reading about the chef Jamison Stocks, who dared to come out a few days ago and say he didn't think much of Meghan Markle's lifestyle show. And then he also told how he'd been approached when he was in New York about a year ago, or even maybe longer. I can't remember how the story goes exactly. He'd been approached sort of unofficially to discuss whether he might be willing to consult on a lifestyle show for Netflix, and he was able to deduce, put two and two together as my microphone falls over. I hope it's not gone weird for you. He was able to figure out pretty much that the lifestyle show they were talking about was Meghan Markle's, and he was very quick to say, no, not interested, thank you very much, doesn't suit me, not anything that I would be interested in. He wasn't particularly offensive in the way that he described any of this, but it provoked the ire of the Sugars, and now he's come out and said he's been getting death threats, not just one or two, but a stream of those things. I hope that the algorithm doesn't decide I'm not allowed to use that word, but those kinds of threats, and how very shocking and unpleasant it is. And he's not the first one to talk about this, how the squad goes after people who dare to say negative things about Meghan Markle. Alexander Lahman of The Spectator spoke out recently about it in a very mild way, how they'd gone after his wife and daughter, I think, if I'm remembering the story correctly. I was going to read on it at the time, but events overtook me, as they very often do. And the other one who has been targeted very famously is Camilla Tominey. I think she writes for The Telegraph, or wrote for The Telegraph. She was hounded by them. Her family was hounded by them as well for her somewhat critical stance on Meghan Markle. So that's what I'm looking at today with the Deviant Moon Tarot. These Sugars, I want to know how Meghan feels about them. She's never come out. She who's so famously hostile to online bullying and hate, and so worried about children and how they might be affected, so worried that she's now putting her own children on Instagram, but we leave that parked somewhere else for now. But she's so worried about all these things, Parents Network, all the rest of it. She and Harry can't say enough about how terrible it all is. Meanwhile, her squad is very savagely going after people who dare to speak out about her in particular, and Harry. She's never criticized them, she's never tried to rein them in. I want to know what she feels about this, what possesses them, what she feels about it. Can she control them? Does she control them? Because this could go quite dangerously out of control, and outcome for them, if it were to go dangerously out of control, outcome for her, it's not a good look when people like this Jamison Stocks are coming out and saying, I'm, offered my own opinion about her show, and then the next thing, this is what is happening to me. It's not a good look when your lifestyle show is supposed to be all cutesy and look at me gift wrapping and making bubble salts and whatever else. And aren't I just darling and dear? Not really. For some reason everything's gone weird here on screen. Never mind. It's just one of those days. And that's our underlying energy, is the Magician. And we have to remind you before we go any further, it's tarot. It's for fun and entertainment, or my opinion, or speculation. And of course, I just read energy, and there is a disclaimer in the box below. We get spin as our underlying energy, the Magician. And the Magician is the Wizard of Oz, really, the puppet master behind the scenes, pulling the strings and orchestrating everything, creating possibly the turmoil, creating this energy. We're only speculating, but that's our underlying energy coming through, is this kind of puppet master energy. And I think that's quite a vivid expression of what is possibly going on, allegedly. Shall we say that word? And then keep that word, the flashing light of allegedly, all over this reading. Let's look at the actual situation we're dealing with Meghan and her flying monkeys. And we're dealing with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is, they were supposed to, of course, go off and find their fortunes and everything was going to be wonderful. It's Harry energy, it's Harry in reverse energy, that Knight of Pentacles, of course. Harry not doing his duty, not being the person that he was brought up to be, in my opinion, and going off under the influence possibly, but quite willingly following her lead off to seek his fortune not found. We often get that kind of energy in readings nowadays, fortune slipping through their fingers, maybe opportunities lost. And it's that's at the heart of this, that somehow they are in their shadow energy. Harry, in my opinion, is expressing his shadow energy, his more toxic self. The money hasn't come through, the future prospects that they believed in haven't presented themselves, and they're in trouble. And what do you do when you're in trouble? Sometimes you attack. Rather than dealing with the cause of the trouble, it's easier to attack external forces, other people, blame other people, rather than examining yourself and wondering what you might have to do with the way things have turned out. So that's a long and rambling explanation for that Knight of Pentacles in reverse, but it had quite a lot to say for me as an energy reader. So let's look at these sugars and ask what possesses them to do this, to fly after people like this, to threaten them like this, and not only them, but their family, their wives, their daughters. These are women who, I think by and large, they are women who claim that they support Meghan because she's such a brave feminist, but they're quite happy to do this. What possesses them, allegedly? We've got the Ace of Wands. It's kind of a prime directive energy is coming through that Ace of Wands. It's interesting that we're in the realm of fire signs. Our Ace of Wands in this bizarre little tarot deck is a mother and child. Very unusual way of depicting the Ace of Wands. It's very interesting that that energy has shown up. I'm asking what possesses them to do this, and I'm getting prime directive. Ace of Wands is very focused. Do this because we have the situation with mother and child. And this stuff all really lifted off. It really got very aggressive around the time the mother and child scenario became problematic. It became problematic, in my opinion, before the child actually appeared in the mother's arms, or the has-been's arms, more precisely. I think that there is an entire book in that card. I'm sure that you can pretty much write that book yourselves, so I'm not going to labour the point. But that is why they are so invested in the story. They, in my opinion, have been directed to deflect, protect, all of that. That is, in my opinion. And I need to show that this card, we're going to look at the rest of the deck. This card has been looking at me. I nearly pulled it out when I pulled out the Magician. And then I thought, nah. But I need to pull it out now. The Empress is the mother. And it needs to sit there next to the Spin Meister, the Puppet Master, whoever. And concocting, manifesting, creating, deflecting, misdirection. All of that energy is in the Magician directed by, in my opinion, this is the story that's unfolding here with the tarot, allegedly directed by this Empress, this mother energy. Shall we use mother in air quotes just to be provocative? So that's what has set them off. How does Meghan herself feel about this? We're just reading energy, of course, and we are speculating. How does she feel about this Wheel of Fortune? She, I would say, needs it, and I would say even enjoys it. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiterian energy, so that's a change of narrative, a change of circumstance, trying to turn something that might have been a very difficult situation. We know what that situation is. It's shown up on the tarot table. Trying to turn it around and trying to put a positive spin on it, trying to make it look better, trying to grab a win from a loss. That's what that Wheel of Fortune is telling me. It tells me that, though, because it's Jupiterian energy, jovial energy, it's entertaining for her. I think she enjoys it. That's my sense of the card. It's my sense of the Wheel of Fortune showing up in this reading. So let's move on to her now directly and ask if she can control them, and if she does possibly control them. Again, speculating. Can she control them? Can she actually hold the reins of this situation? If she were to say, look guys, it's time to dial it down, it's time to stop, could she do that? That's what I'm asking here, because she has not come out and criticized them. Tower, that's a disaster card. I don't think so. My opinion, the Tower is a massive card here because it's something that's shocking and destructive and unexpected. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. She thinks that she's turning the narrative around and that she's going to manage to spin her way out of the predicament she got herself into all those years ago. But the Tower tells me that it's gone out of control. It's unexpected. Lightning strike, shock, absolute shock, horror. The Tower. She can't control this. This could bring the whole house of cards down. That is very serious energy that has shown up in this reading. And does she tell them what to do? Speculating again, my opinion, reading energy, all of that stuff. Disclaimer, does she? Got the Knight of Wands. I would say with that card, yes, because that's the energizing energy. Knights are about action. They're doing cards. Just like little pages are communicating. Knights are doing. And with the Knight of Pentacles there in the reverse, doing the wrong thing, ending up on the wrong path. Our Knight of Wands, however, is upright. Busy, busy bee. Look how this one is riding the other one. And I don't mean it in a crass sense. I mean it in a directing, using the motion, using the energy to get somewhere. And it's messaging, it's wands, it's PR, it's spin, it's all of that stuff. I would say, based on these cards, in my opinion, absolutely yes, the message goes out. The flying monkeys are sent. Sent with that intention, my opinion, Wheel of Fortune, to spin, to change the narrative, to make something better that got out of control bad, but she can't control it, my opinion. She's playing with fire, quite literally. I want to know outcome column here for them. If things go wrong for them, outcome for the sugars, for the squaddies, the flying monkeys, and outcome for Meghan. For the little flying monkeys first, we got the High Priestess and it's in reverse. Some secrets could come out that they really don't want to come out with that High Priestess in reverse. That's very risky for them. The High Priestess is all about mysteries and secrets and your intuition and initiation and belonging to secret societies and stuff like that. It's in reverse. The top of the pile could come out. Whoever is most hidden in that hierarchy, in that I want to use a terrible word to do with witches. I'm not going to say the word, but you can imagine the word. That sort of energy is coming through for me. Whoever is at the dark heart of that C word might be exposed and won't like it. It's potential. We're looking at potential energy here. If things really get out of control, which is possible in this energy, and Meghan can't control them, in my opinion, what happens? That's potential for her if this scenario unfolds, which it looks like it could potentially do for Meghan. How would it look? Queen of Pentacles. I think she will play innocent, and I think she'd get away with it with that Queen of Pentacles. She would spin this, because I'm saying the spin word because I've got the Magician as our underlying energy. So however you would like her to be exposed for being possibly the motivating force behind this, the moving agent behind this, it looks with Queen of Pentacles as if she'll be able to spin it and, oh well, I just thought they were loyal and they supported me and they were faithful followers, and I didn't realize, and I had nothing to do with, because I'm well-intentioned. The Queen of Pentacles is very solid and very well-intentioned, very devoted, very loyal, very faithful, very reliable and responsible, and all of those things. I think she'll be able to spin it and spin it away from her and spin it onto them. How that works out between them and her is a whole other story. I don't think we are seeing that chapter of the story on this tarot table. I don't think we've got there yet. We're certainly being told with these cards that she's playing with fire. I don't think it's got bad enough yet. And that's mind-boggling when you think of the messaging that was going out this time last year about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and her disappearance from the public, and her illness, and her marriage, and all the rest of it that was going on then. It's mind-blowing to me that she's still reasonably safe. Don't know how much longer that'll hold, bearing in mind we have the Tower on the tarot table. So that's the reading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.